Okay, folks, here we are just a wee bit early today, midday for a change. It'd be interesting to know if you actually think this is better, this update at midday rather than at 7 o'clock at night. I'd be interested to hear people's thoughts on that. Anyway, let's talk about the Fife property market and what's happening right now. This is from the 28th of May to yesterday, the 3rd of June. Now, we're going to talk about what's driving the market in the Fife property market, look at the recent listings, what's coming to market soon as well with us, and also right across the number of listings with estate agents, according to Rightmove across the whole of Fife within that period. This gives us a strong indication. The reason I look at this is because it gives us a strong indication about where supply and demand is, and also where the regions, in other words, regional levels, Cooper, East Neuk, Glenorchy, Dunfermline, St Andrews, Leedmouth, and Cooper, and Kirkcaldy seem to be how they're affected overall in terms of supply and demand. We'll also look at the monthly numbers because we're now just past the month of May, so we'll look at these as well. And we'll look at some of the shows that we did and give you a quick insight into them, and you can click on them if they further interest you. Okay, we are in, I would say, generally a stabilised market, but let's look at some numbers here. So this is the last week. I'll just eliminate that bit at the bottom. Yep, there you go. So that bit down at the bottom here is the totals for last week. Now, this on the face of it looks actually like there's a huge amount of properties coming on in comparison to what's actually been sold in the same period. If you look on a regional level, 21 versus 14, Cooper's obviously got more coming on than sold. East Neuk 9 versus 5, St Andrews 22 coming on versus 7. Wow, that's a big number. That means there's a huge oversupply in the St Andrews area. If you look on the face of that and work all the way down there, you begin to realise it's like, wow, that's a huge number in comparison to the week. So if we take 130 and divide it by the 171, that's only a 76% of demand. That's actually quite low in comparison. But what we'll have to realise there is in the instructed numbers is a lot of new build builders. Now, what they do on Rightmove is they put their properties on instructed and they get registered here, but they never actually put their properties as sold because they just put generic properties on. In other words, one style of the same house they put on once and they just keep it on all the time until they've sold out all the houses. So you never really get a sold coming up in here. So what we do is we strip that out. This is what the government call seasonally adjusting. So we call it smoothing. In other words, we want to see the underlying trend in the market. In other words, what is the core business of what's been listed and what's been sold in each area, not necessarily new build. Interestingly, though, the new build is a figure we want to know overall. So I'll take the 171. So this is what it's like with the new build and the instructed stripped out. 154 versus 130. In other words, that means 17 new builds were put on in the actual week itself. Now, if you start to adjust these, you'll see the areas slightly different, 17 versus 7 rather than 22 in the St Andrews area. This is because the ones down at the new Madras area, the new area, and it's getting built in St Andrews, they're getting reflected in these numbers. So we've stripped them out. Same at Leedmouth, 6 versus 8. So Leedmouth's really good in terms of buoyancy. 59 versus 59 for the Dunfermline area. So even Stevens there, stable market. Glenorchy's 15 versus 11. Kirkcaldy 27 versus 26. But if you jump back, you'll see the areas it affected. See the Dunfermline area, 63 versus 59, 29 versus 26. So you see the difference in the St Andrews 22 versus 7. So that's where the new builds are coming from. So we'll strip these out to get a more accurate figure. So really the demand in terms of supply is 154 is 84%. That's actually quite good because it's assumed when people put the property on the market, this is a statistic, it's overall used. It's assumed that 1 in 10 people will actually change their mind, which is 90% of what comes on. And if it's sitting at 84, that's kind of a good stable market in terms of the numbers. Let's look at the monthly numbers. We're going to look at some website stats compared to last year from the whole beginning of the year as well. And we'll cover that just as we cover the monthly here, just after the monthly numbers. So here's the monthly with the new build in there. See that 690 versus 544. You could be mistaken at the St Andrews 51 versus 33, 65 is like, wow, St Andrews is Could you say tumbling? Could you say, a concerning declining market? Well, if you look at the core underlying figures, it's completely different. 630 versus 690. So literally 60 new build properties in the area right across Fife have actually been added into these numbers, but only 543. So it's 8 to 6 really, rather than the 79. Again, if 1 in 10 on the rule of thumb is 90%, then you're sitting at 8 to 6% here. Then the answer to this is actually this is quite a stable market overall. If you drill down to the numbers on the monthly basis and look at Cooper, 66 came on, 50 sold. East Nuke, 26 came on, 23 sold. St Andrews, 44 versus 32. Leavenmouth, 37 versus 43. Leavenmouth outperforming. If you're in Leavenmouth, you're more than likely, if these numbers keep like this, be going to possibly closing dates for certain types of properties. Some properties are actually sticking, some properties are actually moving, but again, Leavenmouth is a stable market. It could mean a different strategy you need to use if your house has been on for at least 3 months, I would say. If your house has been on for more than 3 months, you need to look at a different strategy. So Dunfermline 266 versus 250 overall in the month. Glenorchy 60 versus 56. Again, Glenorchy is a good stable market. Kirkcaldy 131 versus 89, 60%. Kirkcaldy is probably the worst performing in that month. We'll be interested to see what happens the next months. Let's look at some stats. Always like some good stats. Now, this next one is our website stats. This is us. This is our website since the beginning of the year. Now, compared to the website statistics from the previous year. So, in the beginning of 1st of January to the 1st of June. Now, the dotted line there is the previous period from the 1st of June 2022 to the 1st of January 2022 to the 1st of June 2022. You can see that there. But look at the same activity on our website is almost like for like. Now, if we were a boom market last year, if we were in a boom market last year, and this is almost like for like, what does that say about what's actually happening right now according to our website hits and statistics? Our website is only, in traffic, only gone down. I mean, most demand has dropped by about 30 or 40% compared to last year, but our website traffic has only gone down 4%. Now, that could be down to a good strategy. That could be down to good retargeting. That could be good down to I'm able to attract a higher traffic to your website by the things that you're actually doing, like this right now. These vlogs and blogs, there's no doubt about it. People click onto our website because they want more content. Hence the reason why we produce a lot of content and keep throwing it out there, because Google indexes us higher and therefore we appear more times on the front page than other estate agents in an area, because they don't provide and produce any content at all, if a little amount of content. So this is why we put out loads and loads of new content every single time, because Google's effectively like a librarian, and the other search engines like Bing and that as well. But you got to, Google's the biggest, and the same as YouTube. One of the biggest search engine outside of Google is YouTube. Hence the reason why we stream onto YouTube all the time and put loads of content on YouTube all the time, because it ranks us higher when it comes to importance. So if somebody says, I'm looking for a property and answer that, more than likely if you'll have a YouTube content blog appearing, and you also have something appear on the homepage of Google as well. That's why we produce so much content, and that's why this activity has continued to remain really high in comparison to what the media is saying, and also what Zoopla and Prime Location and Rightmove are reporting for their websites. So we're actually way head and shoulders above them in terms of retention, customer retention, and customer activity. And attracting the right people to the areas. So that's over the first 5 months of the year compared to the first 5 months of the year last year. And it's only really dropped by about 4%, whereas everybody else is dropping. Like, for example, demand from Zoopla, they're saying they're dropping 40%. Rightmove, they're saying their demand's dropped about 35%. So it just shows you straight away that we're retaining that customer retention, which is a really good strategy to get the right person through the door. You only need one person to buy your house after all. And according to when you jump back to these numbers here, if there's there's 630 divided by the number of months and days in the month. Literally, that's 20 people every single day in Fife make a decision to buy and sell a house, because that's the 630 divided by 31, which is 20.4 or something like that. So 20 people. So if every day passes, there's 20 people in Fife still making a decision to buy a property every single day in Fife, according to these statistics. So you buyer might not be there right now, but they could be there tomorrow. Let's come back to these numbers, how important they are to us, and how we're maintaining that amount of customer retention activity in terms of buyer attraction to our website. Okay, so let's look at the platforms that you use. You can see tablets compared to last year are similar usage. The desktop format is actually dropping, and its mobile phone seems to be the head and shoulders technology everybody's using to engage with an audience. By the way, I don't know if you've noticed, but this is the new television, because everybody uses their mobile phones, and most people will sit on their mobile phones while they're watching the telly. Television has now become the radio because it sits in the background while we're on our phones, which is the television now. This is the most important tool you need to have a digital strategy for, because everybody's sitting on here. And when something happens on the television, people pop their head and go, "What happened? What was that all about?" You know who you are. You know who you are. I do it as well. What happened there? What happened there? You were on your phone. It's like, but it's the new television, isn't it? That's why you have to have an agent with a proper digital strategy. Retargeting technology as well, similar to people like Sony, Samsung, Amazon, all the pension companies, all the big, huge conglomerates that use retargeting technology. We use that as well. So there's no surprise there's no surprise there if you don't, if you get some of our properties on your feed, because we're using retargeting technology to do that. Anyway, let's go back to numbers. That's why it's important here, because the mobile phone is where everything is in terms of your technology. You can look at there where everybody's coming from. See, there's the classic, there's the proof of the pudding. Direct to the website is actually dropped. Organic search has dropped. But look at socials, jumped up 13%. It jumped up 13% in that period. So socials are where it's all at. That's where the platforms are at. That's where people are actually coming from in order to look at a house and buy a house now. They're making decisions on social media way before it gets even near Rightmove, Prime Location and Zoopla. This is the technology you have to embrace. And then round the country as well, most people from our website for the first 5 months came from United Kingdom area. You did see there about 4,000, just under 4,000 people came from the United States. People, actually Germany's gone up for some reason. You know, there's another 800 people coming to our website in the first 5 months from the Germany area. It could be people working overseas looking to relocate back. Hence the reason why we managed to get a buyer from France to buy Tourneville in Falkland. So they bought it from France. They were in France when they saw the adverts. This is what's sold. Now, we're going to go into this and talk about this. I'm going to talk about what's sold in the period for last week for us. So why do we talk about what's been sold? Is to give you a good indication about what certain types of properties in certain areas are going for. And if you have something similar, then it gives you a good idea about what yours could be worth. After all, you might be sitting there thinking, you know, oh, well, I'll just wait a wee while. And then the next minute, somebody pops up and says, that property sold for this price. And you go, that's like mine. It's like, wow, if I got that number for my house, that would make a total difference. That would actually help me make a better decision and possibly even decide to actually downsize, release money, and actually, you know, and then have a better quality of life as a result. And then also for be able to less maintenance on your house and less cost of bills and, you know, mowing the lawn and weeding and everything like that. Everybody has all that to do. You know, I've even got it to do. We've got a big garden as well. It's like, so it's a blessing and sometimes it's not. But hey ho. Okay, let's talk about what's been sold in the week. So this one here, let me just say, this is Cash Freeze in Strathmiglo. Now this actually sold. This took a lot longer than usual to sell. Quite a long time to sell actually in comparison. It was a 4-bedroom semi-detached house, and it was listed at offers over 250,000. Eventually, after that period of time it had been on the market, it is now sold. It did take a lot longer than usual. This is what I talk about every single day. 20 people in Fife make a decision to buy or sell and buy a property. So your buyer might not be here right now, but they probably might be there tomorrow or the next day. So it's really just about having the right strategy. If you've got the right strategy, then it's a waiting game for the right person to come along. A lot of people actually say to me, this is the objection I get. My house has been in the market for a long time. It'll put a lot of people off because they'll think something's wrong with it. No, they don't. That won't, because the same people it started 6 months before will not be looking for a house now because they've bought. They'll be away. The new people coming onto the market are coming onto the market for the first time, and they're seeing your house for the first time. They're seeing the listing for the first time. So they don't go, that's been on the market for ages, because they've only just started looking. So it's new to them. So that doesn't happen. That's all up here. That's how people think. But they don't think like that at all. I've often done that where we've maintained the price point for 6 months, and St Andrews was a classic example. The owner said to me, well, my house has been on the market. If it's on the market for a longer time, will people object? Now, they had got an offer, which was a really good offer before, and we knocked it back because the entry date wasn't right. But then subsequently, it said, the owner said to me, the seller said, if it's been on the market for quite a long time, will people not think it's stale? I went, no, absolutely not. And then we sold it for more 6 months later than what the original offer was the 6 months before. So it's not the case that the longer you've been on, the less likely is somebody's going to be attracted to buy it. New people come into the market every single day to buy a property, and it's the first time they're seeing it. So let's get back to Strathmiglo. So that is now sold. So if you've got a house like this, offers over 250,000, 4-bedroom semi-detached house, we want to hear from you if you're looking to sell. Langhouse Green in Crail, sold in 6 weeks, 3-bedroom detached bungalow, listed at offers over 325,000. That's a great price point for that property. So 3-bedroom detached bungalow in the Crail area of Langhouse Green, and it is going for offers over 325, and it's sold in 6 weeks. Next one, Leven, Drumcarroll, Windygates Road, Leven, sold in 10 weeks. So just over the 2-month period, which is the average period it takes in Fife just now to sell a house for right across all the estate agents. 2-bedroom semi-detached house, listed at offers over 220,000. It is now sold. Lawview, 3 days away. I did the pre-portal for this. I did the personal property tour for this, and it's gone within 3 days. 3-bedroom detached house. It was sitting in the sun, beautiful south-facing back garden all day long, and it was listed at offers about 250,000. So if that's the type of property you've got, and you're thinking, I could get 250,000 or more for that in 3 days, that could be your one. We'll want to hear from you. Next one, it went last week, was Skinner Steps and Cooper. This was actually sold from social media. Never even made it to a website. This was sold from social media. It was a 1-bedroom upper apartment, offers over 85,000, and it was away before it even got to a website. Sold from social media. This is why you have to have an agent with a fantastic social media strategy. Next one, in Craigrothy. This was sold in 7 weeks, just under the 2-month period. 4-bedroom detached house, listed at offers over 415,000. And that is sold as well. So if you got properties like this and you've just heard the prices of what they're going for, and that attracts you to think about selling, then by all means contact us. Absolutely. Let's talk about what's coming to market. Talk about a couple of shows actually before I talk about what's coming to market. Quickly, summer viewings. Our new campaign is out yesterday. If you're looking to sell and you want to stand out from the crowd in the best selling season ever in Fife, then you need to click on the link in this post to the summer viewing show. The podcast is there. The show is there with Perry and I did yesterday. The article is there to read as well. It takes you 3 or 4 minutes to do it. But I would urge you, if you're selling, to listen to the podcast or watch the show. It will give you some top tips to get the best value for your house at the best time of year and the best moments and drive that price at the end to give you more choices. The other one as well, actually, surprise, while Nationwide is predicting or saying that property prices have actually gone down by 3%, we've actually assessed in the Fife area that since Christmas, property prices have gone up 7.18% since Christmas. They don't have the data yet because their data is out of date. It's historical information it's based on, because it's based on mortgages which were arranged for properties it were selling 6 to 9 months ago. That's what their data is. Ours is current and up to date. And since Christmas, property prices in Fife have gone up 7.18%. Watch the show, read the article, or listen to the podcast. It's on this link above or below or side, wherever it is, depending on what platform you're on. So that's quite an interesting one as well. And Zoopla again talked about this. I did the house price index for Zoopla actually for May 2023. Zoopla says house prices are falling over the last 6 months, 1.3%. But then Zoopla again is based on historical information, what's happened 6 months ago, not what's happening right now. Okay, let's talk about what's coming soon anyway. Coming soon. Watch out for these ones. Now listen out. If this is the type of property you're interested in, message us direct about it and tell us you're interested in it, because when it does come to market, coming soon has actually been signed up. When it does come to market, you will be the first, one of the first to know. Someone has contacted me about George Street and Cellar Dyke. I only just put it on Friday on social media, and I've got somebody going round today to look at it. An offer you cannot refuse. Position to proceed. That's what pre-portal is all about. Getting the best value, getting people through the door. Okay, so Dura Den Pit Scotty, I'm actually going to be putting that one on a 4-bedroom detached house. Wait till you see the size of this thing. It is a period property built in the late 1800s, early 1900s. It is gorgeous. And the grounds are massive, and you've got great potential to do something else there. And this is a period property. I said a 4-bedroom detached, but really I'm sure there's 3 receptions when I walk through. It is absolutely massive, and it sits on an elevated plot at Dura Den and Pit Scotty. That is coming on, and I will be doing the pre-portal this week coming. William Street in East Williams, 3-bedroom end terraced house is coming on. The Cribs in St Monans, a 2-bedroom cottage. Yep. Cribs in St Monans, 2-bedroom cottage. That's one to watch out for. 2-bedroom, 2-reception cottage. It's a cracking property. The garden itself is very, very secluded, and it sits in the sun most of the day. Actually, I felt like just sitting down there when I was there during the week. And also, we have a lodge at Gragemere Woodland, and just outside Pittenweem, a 2-bedroom lodge as well. That'll be coming on as well. Let's talk about what's completed. So, what is completed? Completed means keys handed over. So, keys handed over, job done, transaction concluded. We can now tell you what they actually went for. In other words, and that gives you a real strong indication about how the market was about 6 months ago, because that's when they were actually sold and completed. So, this is Ivy Grove and Methil. This was a 2-bedroom end terraced house, and it sold in 3 weeks originally, and it sold for 5% over the home report value, represented another £5,000 to the seller. They were thrilled, basically paid all their fees. Fantastic. They got us for nothing, and a bit of cash back in the exercise. Hoggate Street in Leiden, 2-bedroom upper apartment, that sold in 5 days for 7% over the home report value, another £5,000, paid all their fees. Got us for nothing. East 4th Street in Cellar Dyke, 4-bedroom terraced house, sold in 2 months, and it sold for over the home report value, and it was another £5,000, paid all our fees. Ingleside and Church Street in Buckhaven, 6-bedroom detached property. It originally sold in 3 weeks, and it sold for 6.5% over the home report value, which represented another £20,000 to the seller. What more choices would you have if you had another £20,000 for your property after selling it? It gives you a lot better choices to move on and do other things. Would you refurbish the kitchen? Would you refurbish the bathroom? Would you buy new furniture? Would you decorate and carpet all the way throughout in your new house? That would all be paid for by the extra you got for your existing house. That's what we're there for. That's what our job is to do, to get that best price for you. So that's it. And final one for me in here was Hayfield Road in Kirkcaldy, 4-bedroom terrace house. It actually sold in 4 months this time, this one, but it actually still sold for 3.5% over the home report value, which represented an extra £5,000. Now, that's quite interesting, because a lot of people, there's what I said before, and I'll go back to saying what I said originally. A lot of people say the longer it stays on the market, the less likely is you're going to get the good price for it. But yet that sold in 4 months, and they still got 3.5% over the home report value, which represented another £5,000 to them. So it's not how long you've been in the market, it's how long the buyer's been in the market. Because you could put your house on tomorrow, and somebody could say, I want to make an offer and buy it. But the reality is, you've only been on a day, but the buyer's maybe been in the market for about 6 months. So you've got to think about that. And equally the other way around is, you could be on the market for 6 months, and then the buyer comes along in 1 day and says, right, I've made a decision of buying a house. That's the perfect house for me. So to them, your listing is now a new listing. It's not the fact that they've, oh, I've seen that before all the time. Because most buyers don't wait 6 months to buy a house. They're literally ready to go. If you've got a baby on the way, they're not going to wait. They're coming in 9 months, whether you like it or not. So waiting 6 months is not going to make any difference for your house being on the market. It's all about making sure you've just got the right strategy. That's all. If you've got the right strategy, it's just a matter of time. Okay, and that's me. That's me. Discussed all that. Finally, I'm going to talk about the Wealth Creation Show. Finally, just to finish off, Richard and I are doing Wealth Creation Show, and we're going to talk about stepping out your comfort zone tomorrow. As comfortable as it seems, the safe bubble of your comfort zone keeps actual people from personal growth and doing things they want because they actually don't have the courage to do it. Does that ring a bell? I'm like that as well. I was like that when I first did this. It's like I was terrified to do video and actually appear on social media and stuff like that. But then you've got to start somewhere, and what's going to push you out your comfort zone? If you want to succeed in life, you're going to have to get uncomfortable at some point in time, because being uncomfortable means you're actually learning. You should celebrate the fact that you're uncomfortable, because you're learning something new, and unless you do something new, you'll be exactly where you are right now for the rest of your life. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow on the Wealth Creation Show, how to step out your comfort zone and the top tips in order to do it. So join Richard and myself at 12:30 live tomorrow on Monday. I'm on my personal profile, my public profile, our YouTube channel, Fife Properties TV, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and various other platforms. We will share it to the office pages as well. Kindly, the Wealth Creation is a personal project for me and Richard. We just like doing this, and we think it's good to share that with our audiences as well. And until next time, guys, have a fantastic day. And I'm Jim Parker for Fife Properties TV. Bye-bye for now.